Hey there, Internet. I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And this is I Will Fight You, a podcast where we've been turning opinion into stone-cold facts since 1986. Mackenzie, what is today's fact?
Today's fact is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and its core gameplay mod are high art and everybody should play them.
Dope! Okay, so folks, we did tease an upcoming episode that we had a guest on for. That episode is cursed. We're gonna do it eventually.
It's very cursed.
So deeply cursed.
So deeply cursed. We've been sick multiple times every time we approach that episode.
Julie Newmar is not smiling upon us this day.
No.
It's fine.
So we were discussing what to do, and I said I could probably pull this episode out of my ass in under 30 minutes, and lo and behold, here we are.
So this is going to be an experiment for all of us. None of us are prepared except Mackenzie, who is always prepared for this.
Yeah, Mackenzie has a lecture for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines just locked and loaded, like at any given moment of her life, I'm pretty sure.
Almost for certain.
I'm very excited for this one. So, quick background, I believe we talked about this when we did the Kindred the Embraced TV episode.
Correctamundo.
Little to no White Wolf experience over here. Kit, you've got some, I think?
Yeah, I was office mates with the Vampire Prince of Calgary for like 2 years, and also...
Right.
Had to do some research on Vampire the Masquerade for other reasons that I can't disclose.
Right, and Mac, you're just the uber fan.
I'm the uber fan. Have either of you played Bloodlines?
No, John has, but I have never played it myself. This is the video game where the box art has the girl with the pigtails looking over her shoulder, and she's like a goth, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
And Kit, but you?
I know of it. I have a pretty solid academic understanding of it. I don't think I've gotten more than 5 minutes into it.
Okay, got it. So, importantly, it was made in 2004. It was released as a competitor to Half-Life 2.
Really?
Which caused it to fail completely.
Yeah, I don't see how that works in any conceivable way.
Yeah.
Are they even the same kind of game?
That diagram doesn't vend in terms of audiences.
No,
not at all.
They are not the same kind of game.
Gordon Freeman or Vampire.
Yes. But it was created by Troika, now defunct because of this game.
That doesn't bode well.
But it was mostly the release of trying to compete with Half-Life 2, which I don't know why they did that in the first place.
Yeah, that's like when, what was it? I think Disney released like a Winnie the Pooh animated film on the same weekend as like the final Harry Potter movie or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, Disney's like, I don't know, nobody wants to see traditionally animated film anymore. I guess it's definitely Winnie the Pooh's fault.
Yeah, basically. However, nowadays it's kind of considered a cult classic just because of how well written it is. And also because the voice acting is incredible, all the characters are incredible. I can't think of a single person or character that is badly written in this game. At least that's not badly written on like purpose. The standard gameplay has a bunch of different layers. I'm just going to kind of cover all this stuff real fast before we get into the plot of it, which is the core part that makes it high art. There's combat. The combat sucks. The nice thing about the combat sucking is that it can be avoided for the most part. There are a few sections where you do kind of have to do combat because it's like there's a vampire hunter who wants to kill you and no, you can't talk him into suicide.
Oh.
This is stuff like that. The combat is terrible. Do not recommend. Oh, sorry, this is a little bit disjointed, but the game was released also unfinished because the head, game companies. There's a massive mod that was partially helped by a lot of the creators of the game. That actually pulls out a bunch of the stuff that can't be accessed in the game and completes them.
Okay, so this is kind of like what I remember hearing about KOTOR 2, right? Where it was like the stuff was there, but it wasn't like fully done or implemented.
Yeah, correct.
And people had to release a lot of mod support so you could actually beat the game, yeah?
Yes, exactly. The mod support isn't needed for you to beat the game in this case, but it does add a bunch of amazing stuff. It does go out of its way to actually include a bunch of things, including allowing, like, 2 different new endings. Anyway, another part of the standard gameplay is you have to keep yourself fed. You are a vampire, you require blood to exist. To use your special powers, you need to drink blood. And based on what kind of vampire you are, kind of decides how you can do that. If you're one of the Toreadors or, like, one of the more seductive vampires, you can go to these clubs and you can, like, develop relationships with people and drink them while they're in the club. If you're a more stealthy vampire who's not so good at talking to people, you can sneak up on people in alleys while they're taking pisses in alleys and drink from them.
Surprising number of dudes taking pisses in alleys in this game, I bet.
It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic.
It's like in an Assassin's Creed game where there's just like an overabundance of just hay bales everywhere.
You can also just grab people and drink from them, whatever you really want. There's also the Masquerade-o-meter.
I'm sorry, is it called that?
No.
It cannot be actually called that in game.
It's not actually called that. I'm calling it that.
Masquerometer?
The Masquerometer.
No way, what's it actually called?
I can't remember. I just know it's called the Masquerade-o-meter. Which is like, I explained this in Kid with the Embrace, but the Masquerade specifically refers to vampires pretending they're humans so that humans don't try to murder all of them. And the Masquerade-o-meter is how much have you shown that vampires exist?
So, like, if you just grab a dude in the middle of the street to just drink his... Yeah.
If you do that, Masquerade-o-meter is going down.
Your Masquerade-o-meter goes down?
Yes. If it's down, everybody hates you. You start getting attacked no matter what. A lot of the plots are changed and switched so that, like, you have more enemies coming after you and it's harder to sneak because everybody knows you're there. Things like that. Then there's the Humanity-o-meter.
Mackenzie.
Also not its name. Also just what I call it.
Humanity-o-meter. Trampoline.
This decides...
Trampoline.
How close to your vampiric side you are. Do you go out of your way to just kill to kill? Do you actually try to blend in with society and generally act nice and not become a monster? The more this lowers, the more you lose control of yourself. There's a thing with vampires called frenzying, where you just kind of lose control and drain whatever's nearby. If your humanity-o-meter goes down, that's more likely to be set off. If someone gets mad, you might just suddenly start attacking them.
I'm sorry. I'm going to laugh every single time you say that.
It's okay. I'm going to keep doing it. But those are the kind of core gameplay mechanics you're working around.
Combat sucks, need blood, humanity-o-meter, and masquerade-o-meter.
Yes, exactly. The game actually follows a lot of Vampire the Masquerade lore. So this is kind of set in the apocalypse, the lead up to the apocalypse of Masquerade.
What's the apocalypse for this setting specifically? What does apocalypse mean?
Apocalypse is called Gehenna, and it's when all the very old vampires, called the Antediluvians, who are the children of Cain, as it's in Cain and Abel.
Literal Cain?
Maybe.
Literal Cain.
Literal Cain.
The concept of Masquerade is that whenever Cain killed Abel, God turned him into a vampire.
Right.
Yes.
Just like in the Bible.
Just like in the Bible.
Yeah, I distinctly remember that part.
Yes. Cain then went on to... I can't remember the exact number. There are 5 billion clans in Vampire the Masquerade.
I think it was supposed to be like 13.
I think it was like 12 or 13, or it's like...
13 is a spooky number.
Yeah, 13 is a spooky number. They say it's 12, but it's actually 13.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a secret one. Yeah, that sounds right.
He went on to embrace 13 people, and they each had their own, like, different...
Like evil vampire disciples!
Yeah, exactly. And they're all known as, like, the most powerful vampires in the world, because the closer you are to Cain, the more powerful you are.
Oh, this is so f***ing anime.
Yeah, antediluvian, by the way, means before the flood. The biblical Noah's flood factors in here.
Oh my god, this is so anime. I love it.
So the apocalypse is these antediluvians are awakened and basically will destroy the world and devour all of humankind. And thus render all the vampires without food.
Right, so Bible vampires.
Fire vampires.
We'll all wake up.
Like, Vampire the Masquerade had a whole storyline where the world actually did end.
Yes.
And then they decided to do 5e of Vampire the Masquerade, and they were like, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It turns out we want to keep doing this game, so it's fine.
So, fine. One of the signs of Gehenna is something called Thin Bloods, which, however many generations you were from Cain...
It's 14.
14,
it's
thank
14
you.
generations. It's always 13, Mackenzie.
It's always 13, you're right. So after 13 generations, you would start getting Thin Bloods, which were vampires that didn't quite resemble their parents, the vampire dad, mom, sire.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't have access to those powers.
Impure vampire bloodlines. Gotcha.
Yeah. Eugenics, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once there were like a bunch of these, supposedly that was a sign that the antediluvians were going to rise. So then we start the game.
Thin Bloods are actually a clan you can play in Vampire 5e, at least. I don't know about previous editions.
Yeah, you could do it beforehand, too. Importantly, the standard playthrough.
Okay.
We're finally to the game. I've done my background.
Golden Path. Hit me.
You are a baby vampire who was embraced in the middle of fucking.
Just mid-coitus.
That's real.
That's real.
That happens.
Okay, now quick clarification for when you say you referring to me, not me referring to you.
Yes.
Is this a thing where you can customize your own character, you are a blank slate, or you play a specific character with amnesia?
It's kind of a mix. You can customize your own character. You can't customize exactly how they look or anything like that. But when you choose a clan at the beginning of play, so a clan being one of the 13
right.
sub-things, but they only have, like, I think, like 7 of them that you can choose from the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's only like the Camarilla clans that you can play.
Yeah. So, like, you could choose Ventura, the business ones. Toreador are sexy and, like, art.
Anne Rice.
Gangrel are animalistic. Bruja are beefy anarchist leaders.
Anarchy, punks, yeah.
Malkavian.
Which ones are the Nosferatus?
Nosferatu are the ugly ones who skulk in the shadows.
Right.
They're literally called Nosferatus.
Oh,
Literally called
that's
Nosferatus.
okay, that's just a nit. Gotcha.
Then there's Malkavians who are, like, the ones who are suffering from, sorry about the wording here, madness.
Right. Wasn't that the one from the TV show who was like the killer?
Yeah, he was like the killer in the TV show.
Where everybody's like, oh no, he's so hideous, and he's just like a guy.
No, that was the Nosferatu.
No, that's Nosferatu.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The Malkavian in the TV show was the one who was like, I'm going to kill my father and get locked in the insane asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of person who plays a Malkavian in Vampire is the kind of person who plays a chaotic neutral rogue in D&D, generally.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now, quick point of order, going back to character selection. So
Yes.
you become a vampire mid-coitus, so you get to customize your character, you get to customize top or bottom?
No,
No.
you don't see it. It's not on screen.
Oh.
Sort of.
You just hear banging noises and then a scream.
Sure.
You hear banging noises as you kind of pan along the bottom of a bed and you see, like, underwear getting thrown.
Uh-huh.
You're embraced mid-fucking. You don't know what's going on because you weren't expecting this. And the first thing that happens is you and your sire are drawn to vampire court.
Yeah, you get arrested.
You get arrested mid-coitus?
You get arrested literally the moment the banging's done.
Oh.
The banging's done and you're arrested.
So you get arrested in the afterglow.
Yes, basically.
Usually at the point in which the handcuffs are supposed to be put away.
In this case, no, you're just grabbed by a bunch of beefy guys and drawn to court.
Drawn is an interesting way to say absconded with.
Absconded with the court. You were, as of 10 minutes ago, just a normal human, and now suddenly you're in the middle of vampire court. One of the major laws of the Masquerade is you don't embrace without permission.
Uh-huh. So you're on trial because somebody just turned you. Are you a witness?
Because basically the rule, the reaction to it, is if this happens, both child and sire will be killed.
Well, that seems rude.
Yeah.
It is rude.
It is rude, which is your sire is instantly just kind of pulled into pieces next to you, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? And you're about to be killed when this guy, Nines Rodriguez, who is loosely the leader of the local anarchs, I will get to that in a moment, stands up and is like, this is bullshit. This person had no say in any of this.
This seems rude.
Yeah, this seems rude, exactly. And because political tensions are really high in the city right now, the prince of the city, whose name is Sebastian Lacroix.
Oh,
Yes, really.
boy.
I'm supposed to agree with Nines here, because if I don't, I will literally be overthrown mid-court.
Yeah, by the way, if you're a Vampire the Masquerade person and you're playing this game and Sebastian Lacroix and Nines Rodriguez pop up, you're like, hey, I know those guys.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the book.
Yeah, they're in the novels.
They're famous.
Oh, this is like when Minsk and Boo show up in a video game.
Yeah!
Yes.
Okay. I know them. They're a friend from book.
There are a bunch of different kind of warring factions of vampires. There's the Camarilla. They are, or Camarilla. I don't know how you pronounce it. No one does.
It depends on whether it's supposed to be Spanish or Italian, and nobody has ever clarified which it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
They are the democracy of vampires.
I feel like democracy and vampires in this setting, I'm getting the vibe that it should be in massive air quotes.
Yes.
Actually, yes, they are the capitalism of vampires.
They are the neoliberal vampires.
Ew.
Then there are the anarchs, who are like, why can't we just fucking not be shitheads? There's the Sabbat, who are often construed by the Camarilla as being, like, evil, but the Sabbat are like, why should we hide that we're vampires? There's the Kuei-jin, who are racist Asian vampires.
I was wondering if you were going to try and couch that a little more gently, but no. It was an RPG from the 90s. There was a racist... There was not only a racist faction, there were multiple racist factions.
Ooh.
Racist Asian vampires, yeah.
These were the racist Asian ones. Okay.
They drank your spirit, not blood.
Oh, boy.
Do they at least have the dignity to be Chinese hopping vampires?
They are Chinese. They are not hopping.
Boo!
Or you can just kind of be independent of all of this nonsense, which kind of puts you on everybody's radar. So you were just saved by an anarch. The Camarilla were going to put you to death. You can kind of see where you're leaning. You're told that by LaCroix that he's going to give you a chance to prove yourself that you're not like your sire.
I'm just going to keep thinking about the seltzer water. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I've referred to him as seltzer water in my notes. He's like, okay, you're going to go to Santa Monica, meet up with my ghoul, head out and join a taxi. However, as you head out, the Sabbat attack, because they're like, oh, hey, yeah, there's a court going on, which is where you're met by another vampire you saw in the audience, Jack.
Just Jack?
Jack is awesome.
Jack.
He looks like every motorcycle driver you've ever seen. There we go. Here's my picture.
That's not really what I was picturing. But then again, I was thinking like motorcycle, and then my brain started going in a Tom of Finland direction, and this is distinctly not that. This is like Rasputin decided to put on a denim vest and no shirt today.
This is the human embodiment of the litter you find on the floor of a punk bar.
Yeah. That's Jack. Jack is basically like, hey kid, Sabbat attack, you're going to be okay? And you're like, I don't know what's going on.
I just got here like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. He's like, that's fair. They just kind of threw you into the middle of everything without fucking telling you a word. Do you want me to show you the ropes? You can, of course, decline the tutorial here. However, if you follow the tutorial, you actually get more plot. They weave the tutorial into like this kind of awesome side buddy cop sequence with Jack, where he teaches you the ropes of being a vampire and how to navigate the game and get you through everything, while also teaching you about like the Sabbat, the Camarilla, anarchs. Jack is an anarch, and stuff like that. It's actually a really cool tutorial. And as you finish up the tutorial and get yourself some special weapons, you climb into a car and you're driven off to Santa Monica to do LaCroix's bidding.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
You're a Santa Monica vampire.
This all takes place in LA.
Yeah.
Boy.
This is an LA by night game.
There are hubs that are different places with like a bunch of different quests and mini quests that you can go through in each of the hubs. Santa Monica is the first big one. You're sent to talk to this guy named Mercurio, who is Seltzer Water's ghoul. A ghoul is a human servant of a vampire. They're fed blood, which is very addictive, and it kind of makes them adulate the vampire who fed them the blood.
Okay.
The great thing about Mercurio is he obviously finds LaCroix incredibly fucking annoying.
I'm addicted to your blood. That doesn't mean I have to like you.
Exactly. Mercurio, you find him at first. He's like bloody and bleeding on his couch. You follow the blood trail through his apartment building into his room. And you're like, you okay, bud? And he's like, not at all, but I'll be okay later. And you explain why you're there. And he's like, yeah, he called me. I don't know why he put me onto babysitting duty when I'm not fucking able to do it right now, man. Important side note.
Mm-hmm.
Mercurio is the hottest character in the game, and if I could romance anybody, it'd be Mercurio.
Okay, I am going to need some photographic evidence to back this up, just for me.
I don't even remember that it's like hot as in he's hot as a character. I just love his altitude.
Or hot as in Mackenzie finds him to be a rat man.
No, I'm looking at this. This is a rat man.
He is a rat man. I love his attitude.
Mackenzie, this is a rat man.
Oh, honey, that's a rat man.
He's a rat man.
Oh, he's got like a woven necklace. He's got like big purple lapels. He's got like sunken cheekbones. Oh, he's got like that hair where, I mean, it's you know, it's not like a modern video game, but it's definitely got that texture where it looks like it's probably really sweaty, like if Steve Buscemi has not showered for like a week. Honey, this is a rat man.
Yeah, this is a Mackenzie guy.
Yeah, he's my kind.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I know I'm supposed to have you do something important, but can you just get me something for pain, man?
Now, when he says something for pain, does he mean drugs, or does he mean Tylenol, or does he mean blood?
He means, like, Vicodin, man.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, if he wanted, like, some Advil, I feel like I'd be concerned about the amount of bleeding that he's doing, and then adding some, like, ibuprofen onto that. That seems like a bad idea.
He's like, give me some Vicodin. I can use the blood to fucking heal myself up eventually, but I need something for the pain right now. And the boss isn't going to give me blood until we fucking get this done.
So please just go find me some Vicodin.
Yeah, just go find me some fucking Vicodin.
Yeah, you know, Vicodin's naturally occurring.
It grows on trees.
There is a hospital not too far away.
So please can you just break into the hospital and get me some Vicodin?
Basically, you have to either, there are choices. You can break into the hospital, just steal up some Vicodin. You can alternatively convince somebody to sneak you some. You can just go in fucking fighting and killing doctors and nurses to get some Vicodin if you want.
Oh, that seems like a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
It feels like it'd make the Masquerade meter go down.
Yeah, the Masquerade meter and the humanity meter would just drop.
Probably have to, like, break through, like, the children's ward, too. Please, sir. Please don't kill me. I have terminal bonitis.
I'm not going to get into every side quest, despite the fact that I want to.
I think if we did, Lucas might have some choice words for us.
Yes. The kind of core plot of Santa Monica is, one, you want to get out to the ship called the Elizabeth Dane that's docked not too far away and is on the news, like, all around you.
Is it like a cruise ship or like a yacht or...
It was a cargo ship that has mysteriously just started kind of like drifting into harbor.
Big cargo ship,
Yeah, big cargo ship that's just kind of drifting. And
a big cargo ship drifting into harbor in a vampire story is never a bad thing.
Yeah, no. There are rumors that on this ship there was a sarcophagus that is carrying one of the antediluvians.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, they called it what again?
The Elizabeth Dane.
They're not just gonna call it the Demeter 2?
No.
They could have just called it the Demeter 2, and it would have...
And your job is to go confirm that the sarcophagus exists and bring it back.
So you're just supposed to walk the streets of Santa Monica with a big old fucking coffin under your arm? Or?
Mercurio, once he's better, is going to help you here.
Oh, so you're both going to be carrying that coffin through the streets of Santa Monica.
Hey, many hands makes light work.
Mercurio's like, I know, man.
You need like 6 pallbearers, come on.
Now, I realize this is Santa Monica, and anyone who sees you is going to be like, continue on your journey, namaste, but still.
However, to get to this point, you need to, 1, get Mercurio back on his fucking feet.
So you have to go get him some Vicodin.
Which he also still needs the blood that he can repair himself with, which LaCroix won't give him until he completes a task that LaCroix wants him to complete.
Oh my god, this dude is so needy.
Yeah, so you have to help him, like, destroy the drug dealers who basically injured him.
It's always, bring me painkillers, help me get full of blood again.
Yeah, exactly. You also need to get some help from the leaders of the Santa Monica area, the Dukes, who are Teresa Vorman and her sister Jeanette Vorman, who are having problems with a Nosferatu who's stolen some information about them. So you gotta deal with that. So I guess I am going to talk about one of the side plots. It's not totally 100% relevant to the main plot, but I do want to go into, like, the storytelling.
Okay.
This side plot where you help Teresa out with her hotel. She says that she bought a hotel recently, an inn on the beach of Santa Monica, and for whatever reason, construction crews keep refusing to work on it. She wants you to go check it out, figure out what's going on, and kind of resolve it.
I swear, if you tell me that there's like a hotel management simulator in here,
no,
I will be delighted.
What follows is the scariest level of any video game where you don't fight anything in my life.
Oh, you mentioned the combat sucks, so it's probably good that you don't fight anything.
This section is just like you walking through a dilapidated hotel and hearing stuff out of, like, behind you, or noticing, like...
dilapidated hotels are known for being safe, comfortable places to be.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing things out of the corner of your eye. There are moments where, like, a chandelier kind of drops nearby, and you're like, did a ghost do that? Or was that just because this is a shitty hotel? You can die during it. Like, you could get an elevator dropped on you, and a few other situations. But slowly while you're in there, you learn up through random newspaper clippings, as one does in video games.
Ah, sure. It's either that or entire tape recorders just strewn about.
That's a later level. You discover that, like, a man killed his family at this location, and so they're haunting it. And those are the glimmers you're seeing out of the corner of your vision. It is fucking scary as hell. I can't explain it. When you're playing this game, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Ghosts are going to attack me. Anyway, very good level design. The level design in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is mwah. Heartily recommend based on that alone.
I always do so, like, terribly with horror games, and it's specifically because I have to be in charge of the camera. Like, if it's a horror movie, they're controlling, like, what I can see and can't see, and that's fine. But in a video game, it's my own goddamn fault if I turn around and something's different.
And I'm just picturing you sitting there going, nope, I'm not going to look at the scary noise. Because I know I'm not going to like what I see. Like it. So I'm just going to sit here and not look at it.
And I just don't look.
The nice thing about the inn is that the camera is focused for you. So it's always focused where you need it to focus, to be completely horrified.
Not great.
Oh, good.
I don't think that's better.
But yeah, so you have to kind of help her. You find, like, a haunted necklace that you then have to give to her. You have to help the sisters figure themselves out. I guess it's fine if I spoil a 20-year-old game.
I'm okay.
You can spoil Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, a game that came out 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
It's okay, Mackenzie.
Yeah, spoilers for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, folks. A video game that came out 20 years ago.
So Teresa and Jeanette are actually the same person.
Do you ever see them in the same room together?
You do. The last time you talk to them is actually them fighting, trying to get control over the body.
What?
She's a Malkavian, by the way.
Yeah, she's a Malkavian, by the way. You don't know this at first.
What does that mean again?
Malkavian are the mad ones.
Does that mean they can create copies of themselves? What? How does this work?
No, it's a multiple personalities thing.
But you don't see them in the same... So you don't see them in the same room together at the same time?
Well, you do. They're in the same body.
They're in the same body.
Okay, if they're in the same body. Okay, see, that is a different thing. That was what I was asking. Are they... Okay, sure.
So... But when you first meet them, they're different times.
And I guess one of them does up their hair differently or something.
Yes.
The one that does her pigtails, I think that's Jeanette.
Yeah, I think that's Jeanette, and the Teresa is the other one. So Teresa on the left, Jeanette on the right.
It's Jeanette on the cover of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then when you meet them together, like that.
A side pony is the compromise that they put together.
When did side ponytails get cool again?
But they're, like, threatening to kill the other with a gun, and you can either talk them down or put whichever your favorite's in charge. But once you resolve that, you can finally go to the Elizabeth Dane, because finally, after you got all these side plots done, Mercurio can finally heal himself, and he's like, let's go fucking do it, I guess.
Sorry, I'm still looking at these pictures, and I just realized this is a Clark Kent situation. One of them has glasses, and the other one just has, like, really bad eyeshadow. You can't tell them. They're different people.
They're different people.
It's glasses.
They are identical twins, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
That's how they describe themselves at first. You go out into the Elizabeth Dane, you make your way around there, and you find the sarcophagus is missing. Of course.
Naturally.
You've heard that the Sabbat have stolen it, so then you have to go back and you have to go find where the Sabbat are keeping it, so you can try to get it back. And in the process, also blow up the Sabbat. The Sabbat are, like, the bad guys, quote-unquote, who are anti-capitalism. How dare they?
Terrible.
The plot keeps following the sarcophagus. You need to go and find information about what's in the sarcophagus from Alistair Grout, who is another Malkavian. He's the Malkavian Primogen.
Alistair Grout?
Yeah, Alistair Grout.
Grout like the stuff that's in the tiles in my shower.
Yes, Alistair Grout. Alistair Grout is Mr. Freeze.
Now, when you say Mr. Freeze...
He is keeping his wife in stasis so that he can save her.
Oh, okay, and he's really sad about it?
He's really sad about it. He's the one who leaves tape recordings all over talking about how sad he is.
Okay, so does he just leave, like, tape cassettes around, or is it just straight up, like, full-ass tape recorders where he only records, like, 2 minutes and then throws the whole-ass tape recorder away?
That one.
Spectacular.
worth noting that, like, in terms of, like, dumb vampire names, you're gonna hear a lot more of them, including one very prominent anarch named Jeremy McNeil.
No, Jeremy?
Yeah. Jeremy McNeil.
Jeremy McNeil.
This motherfucker was born in the 17th century and is going around with a name like Jeremy McNeil.
Jeremy McNeil is the name of a, like, Golden Books protagonist who learns how to tie his shoes and not lie about having eaten the last cupcake. Jeremy McNeil learns a lesson.
Jeremy McNeil.
Jeremy McNeil ties his shoes, and you can too.
You go to Aleister Grout's mansion to find information about the sarcophagus, and as you show up, you watch Nines Rodriguez leaving. But as you go through the mansion, you find out that Aleister Grout is dead. And there's a vampire hunter who shows up to kill him and is upset that he's already dead. So the vampire hunter is like, wait, well, you're a vampire too. I might as well kill you.
Well, as long as we're here.
Are you ready for the vampire hunter's name?
It's just, look, it's just convenient. It saves time.
The vampire hunter is a German man named Grunfeld Bach.
Grunfeld Bach.
Oh, that's so good.
Grunfeld
Bach. Grunfeld Bach.
Grunfeld Bach.
I feel like if your name's Grunfeld Bach, you are mortally obligated to become a vampire hunter at that point.
It just makes sense.
And also you listen exclusively to, like, Das Nibelheim.
Absolutely.
Nibelungen? Damn it.
Ring of the Nibelung?
You listen to Wagner.
Yeah. Speaking of Grout, Aleister Grout, at what point do you think he realized it was far too late to change his name?
In life, he was a psychology professor.
Yeah, I feel like when you die, you get to pick a new name.
Yeah, so you're not running around with a name like Jeremy McNeil as a 500-year-old vampire.
Exactly. Like, that is what happens. Like, you get involved in the Masquerade, you get one free name change. They'll issue you a new vampire social security card.
Yeah, they're sitting you down. It's like, okay, now you can make this choice once, so choose wisely. Do you really want to still go by Jeremy McNeil?
For, like, ever. For the rest of eternity.
For literally the next 1,000 years.
You're going to be around for a while. Please make sure you're okay with the name you're using.
Grunfeld Bach sets the house of fire around you and is like, ho, 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 and sends other hunters after you.
I hope the sound clip is exactly like that. Ho, 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 ho.
Very Ojo-sama. And you have to escape from Grout's manor as it explodes behind you.
Naturally. So for a little bit, the video game turns into the end of a Metroid game.
Yeah, exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
LaCroix's like, okay, come tell me what's happened while you were in Santa Monica.
How is Santa Monica?
You explain all this, and he's like, so Nines killed a primogen? Because he died before you were there? Well, fuck that guy. I'm gonna call a blood hunt on him. Blood hunt being murder this guy. We don't care if he comes in dead or alive. Nines being, of course, as a callback, the one who saved you in the beginning. So that doesn't feel very good.
And also you get the feeling like, even if LaCroix doesn't really believe that Nines killed Grout,
Yeah.
he's using it as an excuse.
Yeah, LaCroix's like, finally I can get rid of this guy. I have a good excuse for this.
I can't get past the fact that you've really been a vampire for like maybe a couple of days at this point. This seems like a lot of other people's problems.
Yeah.
That's just basically Vampire the Masquerade as a whole. Other people's problems.
The thing about Vampire the Masquerade as a whole, and thus this game, is that if you're a fledgling, which is a baby vampire, everybody just makes you do everything for them.
Oof. You're the intern.
You're the unpaid intern, and no one cares if you die. So you get back, you explain all this to LaCroix, and he's like, okay, well, turns out the sarcophagus is in the National History Museum. Go steal it.
What?
How did it get there? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
What?
So you go break into LA's National History Museum.
A simple task, I am sure.
In the Natural History Museum, there is one of the biggest jump scares of your life.
Really?
Where you, like, break in, of course, to, like, the employee entrances where they keep, like, all the stuff in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You round a corner, and there's a velociraptor staring you in the face.
What? Surprise! This is a Turok game the whole time!
It freaks me out every time. But no, it's just, like, a statue someone made, and there's, like, a note on it that says, Gary, why did you leave this here? This sucks.
And we're talking about, like, Jurassic Park Velociraptor, not, like, the size of a large chicken Velociraptor.
Correct. Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is 2004.
So you go around the National History Museum. You can't find the sarcophagus actually in the museum itself, so you have to...
Oh my god.
...go down into where, like, they actually take care of things and clean them up.
You have to go into the archive? You have to go into the part where they're cleaning up artifacts? Oh, you are making such a mess of this museum.
Absolutely. And as you get down there, you find that the sarcophagus is open and empty.
Were you expecting anything else at this juncture?
And there's a note in there that's like, "You're welcome, LaCroix. Love, Gary."
Gary?
Gary is the leader of the Nosferatu.
The same Gary who left the Velociraptor?
No, different
Who
Gary.
the fuck is...
Why are there two Garys?
Who the fuck is Gary?
Gary is the leader of the Nosferatu.
No, Gary?
There's a Nosferatu named Gary.
Gary.
We need to institute this. They need to get one free name change. Gary?
Not just free, but mandatory.
You gotta do some serious thinking about your life.
You're gonna look like this for the next 1,000 years, Gary.
Is Gary what you're going with, Gary? Like, I don't even care if that means you've got a whole bunch of vampires running around with, like, 90s internet screen names. Bloody Wrist 666.
Gary was the Nosferatu leader of Under Hollywood, and he was basically Cary Grant.
No.
Someone decided he was a huge asshole, because he was, and embraced him as a Nosferatu, so he lost all of his good looks.
Okay, so here's the thing. So Cary Grant's whole deal was like maybe 20% how he looked.
Yeah.
And the other 80% was the everything else about him.
Oh my god, the everything else about him, though.
Yeah, so I guess my question is Gary the Nosferatu still the most charming motherfucker who ever lived?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Because, I mean, that charisma. Goddamn.
He now looks like this.
Oh, okay, so he just looks like just like a standard, like...
This is Lurch.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Lurch. This is Nosferatu from the movie. Nosferatu started working out.
Yeah, Gary is very theatrical.
Okay.
You're sent to find Gary. The bad part about this section is while the characters are incredible, this is the sewer section.
There's a sewer part of the video game?
You know it from other video games.
Okay, so the level design is bad.
Yes. This is where the level design falls apart for an act, basically.
Yeah.
Because you've got incredible level design will come after this, but for this section, you've got the sewer section, and we just got to get through it.
Oh.
It's just tunnels.
It's just tunnels. Maybe things are kind of green for a while, but only if it's really special. Oops, all tunnels.
There's this clan called the Zamise who do a lot of, like, flesh horror stuff. They are sending monsters after you down here, so you've got, like, flesh horror monsters in the sewers chasing you down.
Okay, so you've got just a little bit of the things going on here.
Yeah, well, you're trying to get to Gary and the Nosferatu hideout.
Uh-huh. Wow. Creepy monsters in the sewers, huh?
Yeah. Eventually you get there. We're just skipping the sewers.
Yeah.
Just ignore those few hours where you're stuck in the sewers.
Oof.
Is there like a skip the sewers mod?
There is.
Of course. Good.
You walk up to a door and then suddenly you're at the end of the sewers. Blessed be. You get there, you talk to Gary. Gary's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't steal it, but I did find it empty because he sent me after it to get it like you did. And I just was like, well, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I owed LaCroix. He told me to go break in and find this sarcophagus. I broke in, I found it, it was empty, I left.
You know what? Technically, he just said find the sarcophagus, not open it and get out what's inside the sarcophagus. Just look for a box.
Yeah.
I did. It was empty, I left.
By the exact letter of the agreement.
Yeah. I no longer owe LaCroix.
Good for you, Gary.
Yeah, good job, Gary. Gary's like, anyway, I think the Giovanni actually stole it. Giovanni are the necromancer vampire clan.
They also lead Team Rocket.
Are they the ones that ceased to exist?
Yeah, they now are called something else. I can't remember what they're called now. They no longer are weird incest family. Because it's the 90s, yeah. The 90s, they were the weird incest Giovanni vampire clan.
Yeah. That's their whole thing. They're vampires, but also they kiss their cousins.
Because they're so attractive.
Yeah, basically.
I thought that was the whole point of this journey.
Absolutely not.
Some real Shelbyvilles.
They only embraced from the Giovanni family. The Giovanni family often intermarries, stuff like that.
Yuckers.
Yeah, it's very yuckers. And that's why they no longer exist.
The best part is that I feel like just that setup itself would lend for some very simple explanations in universe for why they no longer exist.
Yeah, exactly. It's revealed that Giovanni's stolen, so you head off to the Giovanni mansion where there's a party going on. You can party your way in, or you can sneak in, or you can fight your way in, whatever you'd like.
Now tell me, in this cool party, there's a clown, right?
There's not a clown, no!
There should. What are you talking about? There's always a clown at the rave.
There's always a clown at all raves, you're right!
This is the same world.
Also, vampires always roared like lions.
Also, when you say party your way in, I am just picturing like Chris Pontius from Jackass as Party Boy. Just kind of party boying his way into the building.
Basically.
That's what I'm don't correct me.
I won't.
I want to live in this world that I've created.
Feel free.
You go to vampire parties, there's clowns. That's just how this works.
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
So you party your way in, you finally find your way to the sarcophagus, but it's missing again, and you find a Kuei Jin there, aka racist Asian vampire.
Ooh, oh no.
Hooray.
Oh no.
The Kuei Jin is like, we were hired by LaCroix to get this, why are you here?
Please tell me they don't start talking about honor.
They don't.
Is LaCroix just hiring literally everyone he meets to go and get the sarcophagus?
Yeah, basically. So you're like, why the fuck am I being forced to do this when he's got other people on it? Who are clearly more talented because they always arrive before me.
They've been here more than 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you go back to LaCroix.
Oh, I know what this is. This is a gig job. He put out a gig job, and then these are all the vampires that are racing to lower their bids each time.
It's just there's just an app called VMPR or something.
You go back to LaCroix and he's like, yeah, I've got the sarcophagus, and he's like standing there walking around it and stroking it.
How did he get it? Who got it?
The Kuei Jin got it from him.
The sarcophagus was still in the museum, right?
No, it was stolen.
Oh, okay.
It was open, you assume that was a sarcophagus, it turns out that was a fake.
Okay.
So he's walking around it, and he's like, but it's locked and I need the key. Can you go get the key for me, please?
Oh my god.
And you're like, oh my god.
Can this dude not just get his own goddamn groceries?
No.
No, you are a fledgling, you do it.
Ugh.
He is the vampire prince of Los Angeles. He does not get his own groceries.
No.
That's what you're here for.
The key is being held by another vampire who was abducted by Grunfeld Bach.
No, of course.
Of course, he's back.
He's back. So you have to go to the Hunter Bunker.
Hunter Bunker.
I just like the phrase Hunter Bunker. The mouth feels good.
Hunter Bunker.
Hunter Bunker. I just want to say that, like, with as little enunciation as possible. Hunter Bunker.
Hunter Bunker.
Hunter Bunker.
And this involves having to break in past a bunch of vampire hunters and eventually finding that, of course, the vampire hunters already killed that vampire. Like, what did you fucking expect? You expected they were just going to kind of hold on to him and then let him go?
It's in the job description.
You could even say this.
We do one thing.
We do one thing.
We do one thing and we already did it. And they're like, no, we don't have the key. Why would we keep something that evil? So you're like, oh my god. Oh my god. I keep going on these quests that are for nothing. As you're leaving after murdering the hunters, that's one of the places you can't avoid fighting because you are a vampire and they are vampire hunters, okay?
They literally, it's just the one job.
They do one thing.
It's their one job. They are not going to be talked down from murdering you.
And you're like a baby.
And you're like, oh my god, I keep getting sent on these fucking quests.
Have you had any quest yet in this game, like a mainline quest that has ended in you actually achieving your objective?
No. Well, yes, because there are a few where you're like, while you're in there, go ahead and blow up the Sabbat so that they are weakened for the rest of the game. That succeeds.
Okay, so you at least, like, achieve something rather than perpetually go on a goose chase.
There's the perpetual goose chase, but there are other quests and you are resolving them.
A vampire goose chase.
Yes.
It hisses a lot.
Basically indistinguishable from a regular goose.
Right, except it's got a little cape.
So you leave the Vampire Hunterville and you go back to LaCroix. As you're going back to LaCroix, you find Ming-Ji, the leader of the Kuei Jin, leaving.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Big fan of these names, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
She's wearing, like, one of those, like, Cheongsam dresses or something, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, she fucking is.
Well, like a mini skirt. Are there chopsticks in her hair?
Yeah, of course there are.
Oh, no. Why do I ask these things?
You know the answers already.
I know the answers. Oh. Oh no, you showed me a picture. Oh.
I did.
Oh, it's worse. It's worse than I thought it would be. It's got a titty window.
Yeah, it's a titty window. Of course it does.
God, it's got a whole clavicle and titty window. It's a whole sternum window.
Yeah, there's more titty window than actual dress here.
Yeah.
She's walking out, and she's like, "Let me talk to you, fledgling." And you're like, "Okay, let's chat."
I don't wanna. This is gonna be uncomfortable.
And she's like, "I've got the key LaCroix's looking for, but I'm not going to give it to him."
Okay.
Because he's kind of a douchebag. And you're like, "Yeah."
This seems like a you problem. This seems like other people's problems.
She's like, "Work with me and I'll give you the key, though, if you want." She's like, "But to do that, you have to fuck over LaCroix." And you're like, "I don't like you either."
So wait, you want to fuck over LaCroix, who is asking you to get the key, so you can get the key that LaCroix wants to give to LaCroix after you fucked him over?
No, so that way you can have access to the key and have control over it and then sell it to the highest bidder, basically.
Oh, well, honestly, okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
You go up to LaCroix after talking to her, and he's like, "So you know that blood hunt I called on Nines Rodriguez, and Mingjia also reveals to you that she was pretending to be Nines and disguised herself as Nines. There's a magic power you can use to do that.
Okay.
In order to get this blood hunt called on Nines to begin with. So you go up to LaCroix and you're like, "Can we please save Nines? He saved my ass." And LaCroix's like, "Yes, but problem, I have already called the blood hunt, so people are already hunting him, so you have to go save him now if you want to keep him alive."
God! Does this guy leave his apartment?
No.
Ugh!
So you go to Griffith Park, which is known for being a werewolf haven.
Werewolf? No, werewolf. Where? Say it.
And you find Nines there. And as you find Nines, it's revealed that one, LaCroix is now blaming you for everything.
Yeah, sounds right.
I'm putting the blood hunt on you, and he sent you there so you'd be killed by the werewolf.
Werewolf?
Because werewolves hate vampires.
Naturally.
And also, you and Nines then have to fight a werewolf together. Nines gets injured protecting you. So you help him then because, you feel kind of bad. This guy's saved your last twice. Also, the werewolf fight's awesome.
Wait, a combat sequence, is good?
It's because it's not a combat sequence.
Ah.
It's survive this without getting killed. So, you're running around and using the environment to your advantage and just, trying to stay away from the werewolf, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not talking Lon Chaney werewolf. We're talking big, muscular, hulking, furry monster werewolf.
Oh, do go on.
Heals any damage that you deal to him, can rip you in half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a good werewolf.
Werewolf?
Sounds fun.
And it's at this point where your loyalties will reveal themselves, basically. Because at this point, you can finally get access to the key. You can go and bring down Mingji and just steal the key from her. You can side with her. The Anarchs are like, "Yeah, go and get the key from Mingji and hand it to LaCroix. And then just come sit with us. Don't stay around for the opening." You can side with LaCroix if you decide to for some reason.
Now, I know that you've done nothing but make me go do your shitty job and you haven't left your apartment. But also, maybe you've got something good going on. I don't know.
You can side with the Anarchs and be like, "Yeah, I'll hand LaCroix the key." You can be independent and be like, "No, fuck all y'all." And just kind of kill everybody and then leave.
Valid, honestly.
Yeah. With the mod, you can even join the Sabbat and be like, "You know what? You guys had the fucking right of it the whole time." The important thing is eventually, if I'm going to go with the Anarch ending here because I like it most, and the Anarchs are the most likable faction. You hand LaCroix the key after killing Mingji and getting up to him. And he's like, "Yes, I can finally open the sarcophagus, let this antediluvian out, and make him my bitch by feeding him blood and making him addicted to me."
Wow.
And you leave to go hang out with the Anarchs, and he opens the...
Hey, I think this guy might, suck. I mean,
Yeah.
I think this guy might kind of suck a little.
Yeah, maybe a little.
And not in a vampire way, just in he's kind of a douchebag.
And he opens the sarcophagus, and it turns out that there was nothing in it but just kind of like an Egyptian mummy.
Oh my god.
And also now the Anarchs have put a bunch of bombs in there. So the bombs blow up and kill LaCroix. End of game.
That's such a Looney Tunes ending.
It's amazing. Literally, the ending is you sitting... The Anarch ending is you sitting on, a beach chair next to Jack, who's also on a beach chair, next to the mummy, the Egyptian mummy they took out of the sarcophagus to replace with bombs. Yeah.
Like the mummy's just sitting there on another beach chair.
Yes.
Yeah, mummies are, I don't know if this is the case in the game, but mummies are also a thing in the world of darkness. I don't think this is one of those mummies, though.
No, this is like a literal Egyptian mummified pharaoh.
This is just a mummified corpse. You probably put some sunglasses on it.
They're weekend at Bernie'sing with this guy.
Did you also get the canopic jars? Did you bring those along too?
No.
Yeah, that's just a mummy. This is just a mummy on a folding lawn chair. Yeah, okay.
They put a little hat on him.
You put a nice little hat on him.
And you watch LaCroix Towers blow up. That is the core game.
Okay.
There are 2 other kinds of playthroughs that people do.
All right, let's hear it.
One is the Nosferatu playthrough, where you play a Nosferatu character.
Which means you can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere.
Because you're just too hideous to be loved.
You are too hideous to be loved or looked at. You make anybody scream if you walk the streets.
Just existing breaks the masquerade if you're a Nosferatu.
Yeah.
You just kind of look like a pale guy with no hair, though.
Yeah, but pretend that you're really ugly, okay?
Something about that is also just pure uggos, I guess.
Part of it, and I feel like Requiem described this a bit better, is it's not necessarily looks, it's just that, like, you give bad vibes to everybody.
Okay.
Excruciatingly bad vibes.
Okay, so you just have rancid vibes. That's just in the character sheet.
Your vibes are rancid. You make everyone uncomfortable.
You're a catchy girl from Persona 5. Your vibes are rancid.
Yeah, your vibes are absolutely rancid.
Okay.
Vagina bones everywhere. Perhaps literally.
Different video game. Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
In the Nosferatu playthrough, you have to figure out, like, back ways around everything. To be very, very careful about making sure who sees you. You kind of creep around. You learn all about everybody's ventilation system.
You learn up close and personal about everyone's ventilation system.
You just live in the vents.
Yep. You skulk around that way.
You just Bruce Willis this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an exciting enough of a difference, but it's enough of one where it adds some, like...
It's like a challenge playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that it changes the style of gameplay so significantly.
And then now we get to my favorite playthrough.
Uh-huh.
The Malkavian playthrough.
Oh boy.
And the Malkavians are, sorry, there's been a lot of terminology. Malkavians, what's their gist again?
They're the ones who are crazy.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, imagine sarcastic quote marks around the word crazy as used there.
Ah, so it's like, then I am mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in lore, the basic premise is they realize that they are dead and yet they are awake, and this revelation drives them to madness.
Yeah.
Oh, they became the Joker 2019. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Joker-fied ones.
You know, we're living in a society.
In 5th Ed, they kind of put, like, a lot of emphasis on, like, well, they don't technically have human mental illnesses. They just have special vampire mental illnesses that mimic certain human mental illnesses. And that almost feels worse than just saying they're crazy.
They just want to welcome you to their twisted world. And I hope you can hear that I'm pronouncing alternating lowercase and initial caps.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is actually played in the Malkavian playthrough as, I can't remember what it's called in the game, but, like, in the actual vampire game, there's something called the Malkavian Network, I think.
Does this one have a sanirometer?
No.
For your sanity?
The Malkavian Network is...
a matameter.
All Malkavians have, like, the collective knowledge of the Malkavians. So, in the Malkavian playthrough, you have, like, the insight of how the game is going to go.
Okay.
There are extra voices where you will hear the voices of other Malkavians occasionally telling you something about people. When you're first talking to LaCroix, you hear someone in your ear going, liar, liar, liar.
Huh.
Whenever LaCroix starts talking to you, you have a way to talk to him and be like, just give me the first of my endless errands, okay?
Okay, so this is a playthrough that understands that you have played this game before. I like it when games do that.
It is not recommended you play Malkavian your first time for obvious reasons.
I can imagine.
But you get all these insights into characters. You have all this way of calling people out. You hear these voices which will tell you things about what's going on. Like, as you keep getting sent after the sarcophagus, you can tell LaCroix, you can be like, you know, you don't actually want this. You're not going to like what it is in the end. And stuff like that.
And I'm sure you do it in the most charismatic way possible.
In the most condescending way possible.
Just some weirdo like, you won't like what's inside.
Yeah. And LaCroix just dismisses you because he's like, whatever, I don't have to listen to you.
The thing is that you're describing this, and now I really just want to do a couple more playthroughs if I was a teenage exocolonist.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines walked, so I was a teenage exocolonist, could run. So there are like these other points where there was this girl you talked to in the original playthrough who made zero sense. You couldn't make sense of her.
Oh.
But when you go with her as the Malkavian playthrough, you can understand her perfectly. You and she have a wonderful conversation. You sort a bunch of stuff out, and it allows you to just kind of skip a bunch of stuff because you no longer have to like work around through all of that.
Like the sewer level?
The sewer level you still have to go through.
Ah.
No.
Unless you have the mod the mod that skips it involved.
Boo.
But this like helps you skip through a bunch of the stuff in Santa Monica so you can get in Elizabeth Dane faster.
That's interesting, actually.
There are other side plots you can kind of resolve faster. Like there was like this serial killer subplot that I skipped over because it's a side plot.
Quick professional opinions as like the true crime friend. How was the serial killer plot?
Actually, well done.
Oh.
Yeah.
I trust your judgment on that.
In the original playthrough, you have to like kind of go through all the information about the serial killer, kind of resolve the situation and slowly figure out who did it and why.
Mm-hmm.
In the Malkavian playthrough, and in the original, you actually meet the serial killer pretty early on. And in the Malkavian playthrough, when you meet him, you go, it's the dealer of death.
Ah, fun.
And he's like, what the fuck? How do you know that? And you're like, vibes.
The vibes are rancid, dog.
The vibes are rancid.
I'm imagining the dramatic pause before vibes as well.
Yeah.
And another important thing is, so you have like a taxi driver who drives you from place to place, and the taxi driver is kind of like, he's a loading screen basically, but you can chat with him while the game's loading. Most of the time you just kind of chat with him. He's like, how you holding up, bud? You can't talk to him too seriously about everything that's going on because you're a vampire and he's mortal, you assume. The Malkavian knows he's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Malkavian's like, oh my god, you're the Allfather. It's implied that he's Kane. Just kind of being a taxi driver, driving people around because he's bored.
You know what? Yeah, okay.
I not only buy that, I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, that is the kind of shit I love. I love when it's just some rando that's like, yeah, I'm like God or whatever. How's it going? What's up?
How you doing?
I'm not actually important to the plot.
No, the Malkavian just kind of opens up to him about everything and is like, this sarcophagus thing isn't going to go how LaCroix wants. And Kane's like, yeah, no, it's fine. He sucks anyway. And the Malkavian's like, yeah. And you're like, I kind of don't want to do anything with any of these people. He's like, well, you don't have to. You can always just ride in the taxi with me if you want.
Really? Is there a Taxi Kane ending?
There's a Taxi Kane ending. That's kind of the independent ending. But Malkavian and Kane just kind of have casual chats, and it's fine.
That's great.
So the Malkavian ending is just like, you have all this insight into characters. You're getting like spooky whispers that help you through things. Like when you're sent to go after Alistair Grout, the already dead Primogen.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a voice saying, he's already dead. And you can even say that to LaCroix at that point, and LaCroix's like, what the f*** are you talking about? Because LaCroix doesn't know how you know, because he and Ming-Ji are working together on killing him.
I like that this means that, like, throughout the game, LaCroix has just hired the weirdest guy ever, and is just like, okay, you know, whatever. Why don't you just keep going?
Yeah, just go, man.
And this weirdo just keeps coming back and saying increasingly more unhinged stuff.
Exactly.
And he's just like, you know what? It's fine. Just go get my laundry.
Yeah, go get my laundry for me. Thanks. But it's incredible. I love the Malkavian playthrough. My first playthrough, I played a Ventru who is like a snooty business vampire.
The Ventrus all went to business school. Every last one of them.
Oh, gotcha.
My first playthrough, I played a Ventru, and I was like, LaCroix is giving me so many bad vibes, but I'm going to side with him because I'm a Ventru, and that's what I would do. And I got blown up for it. My second playthrough, I played a Malkavian, and it was the most incredible thing.
Yeah, I really like it when a video game basically rewards you for having played it by doing a victory lap that is not just like, you get to keep all your equipment from the first playthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it's a nightmare to design because functionally what they've done here is designed the game 3 separate times.
Yeah.
One for the regular vampires, one for the Nosferatu, and once for the Malkavian. They made 3 games in one game, and it's no wonder it's not finished.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild that they swung that hard.
Also, I didn't mention this in the beginning, but they didn't even have a director, like, handling everything for a year. They kept requesting one, but the company that was, like, overseeing Troika refused to send one.
What?
Oh, God.
So they were just rudderless. They were just, like, working together to try to keep this ship afloat for a year.
And then they finally sent a director, and they sent the director and like, okay, release it in 2 months. And they were like, oh my god!
Whoa, no!
So you can see why this kind of fell apart.
Yeah. God, like, props to the team then for, like, getting that much of the game out. Shit. That is perseverance under heinous shit, which is unfortunately more common in the video game industry than you would like it to be.
Then it should be. But throughout all of this, through every little side plot, through the annoying, never-ending fetch quest for the sarcophagus and the key that involves with it, the characters are all incredible. The plot and the writing are mwah, chef's kiss. It's very janky. The combat sucks. But everything else is so good, it has held up the test of time. It's one of those games that I have replayed it 100 times.
It sounds like it's a really special title.
And it all started because a young Mackenzie walked into a Sun Coast and said, what, there's a video game about Vampire the Masquerade?
And bought it immediately.
I'm going to restructure parts of my entire personality around this for a while.
Yes. I have people who are like, have you ever heard of this game before? I just started playing it. Like, still today, in 2024, someone just mentioned it to me last week. And have you ever played it before? It's really good.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, baby. Baby, I was there. I was there in the beginning. One of the 600,000.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch.
And I think people should go out and play it. Don't do Malkavian in your first playthrough. Do it your second or your third. Each of the clans actually kind of offers different things, because you'll get like along better with certain groups if you're certain clans or anything like that. A lot of people don't like you if you're Ventrue because you're a business nerd.
No, I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Because you're a fucking business major.
If you're a Nosferatu, everybody's a little bit unsettled by you, except for the other Nosferatu, who are like, hey buddy, welcome in! You want to crash on the couch?
You want some snacks?
Pal? All the side quests are incredibly well designed. It's one of those things where, like, they're all thoroughly thought out and they make sense in the world. They're not just NPCs sitting there like, hello, to progress, you must do X. They're like, I don't fucking know who you are. You're new to this. Can you even do this job?
Go out and kill 6 wyverns.
I don't fucking know. Do this for me first before I trust you. Go and break in and steal this guy's hardware.
I have this basement full of rats. Can you clear it out for me? Just big rats.
Go get me some Vicodin from the hospital. I don't have any and I need it. Oh, the other thing I forgot about the Malkavian playthrough. So throughout the game, you have different apartments that you can sleep in and stay in. And there is a TV where you can learn about...
in-game media?
Yeah, in-game media that both gives you plots to follow up on and also talks about things you've done.
Oh, that's nice.
And in the core game, it's so-and-so was murdered, no one knows who it is. In the Malkavian playthrough, it'll be like, so-and-so was murdered, we all know it was you and we're coming after you right now. You left so much evidence. We know that you murdered this guy.
Like that's the newscaster saying it in like a normal voice.
In a normal newscaster voice.
Excellent.
So my takeaway is that if you're playing as Malkavian, there's a large section of the game that's just, you are too high and we know.
Yes.
Oh no, everybody knows. Everybody knows I'm too Malkavian right now.
You also, as a Malkavian, you encounter, like, random people and things you can talk to that you can't as a regular vampire.
Like objects?
Like a stop sign at one point. You're walking to... I can't remember what the plot involved with this one is, but you're walking to go down a street, and the stop sign goes, pardon me, did you not notice me? And you reply with what? And you go, you're supposed to stop.
Oh my god.
And you go, aren't you for cars? And the stop sign says... Does it say stop for cars only?
Aren't you for cars?
And you have to argue with the stop sign.
The line, aren't you for cars, is just very good.
It's incredible.
So what I'm also hearing is that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines walked so that Disco Elysium could run.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
Maybe that should be my fact in the end. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines walked so that insert amazing future game could run here.
Oh, wow. It sounds like a very weird video game.
It's a very weird game that is 100% worth playing. Just make sure you add in the mods that add in all the stuff they couldn't get to because they were forced to release too early.
Nice.
And then immediately went out of business.
And then immediately went out of business because they had to compete with Half-Life 2.
And, DLC wasn't really a thing at that point.
Why Half-Life 2?
Not in that capacity.
Not in that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was like a solid 2 years before Oblivion was like horse DLC. Yeah. Pay $10 for a horse.
And people were like, and how?
We can monetize this to the end and back.
And that was the beginning of the end, folks.
That was the beginning of the end.
Mackenzie, this was very good. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to throw this together last minute.
I thoroughly enjoyed this.
In place of our cursed episode.
Yeah, and in place of the cursed episode still in progress.
Then I guess it's time for our final facts.
Yeah, our final facts are here.
Kit, what's your final fact?
The Malkavian thinks that women are bourgeois.
Annie, what's your final fact?
You can just change your name. You can just do it. You can just be Sis and you can change your name.
You can just do it. Anytime you want.
You can just do it.
You don't have to go by Jeremy McNeil for the next 1,000 years.
I'm a vampire named Jeremy.
Mackenzie, what's your final fact?
My final fact is, when you have a game, make your new game plus interesting. Make it so it changes the plot and gives you insights, because you've already been there. You know what's coming. It makes it way more fun to talk about and replay.
Would that every video game had budget for, like, a fun new game plus.
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's gonna do it for us, I think. Maybe join us next time for the Cursed episode.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, although...
Fingers crossed.
That might be making it worse, I don't know.
It's Annie's turn. Of the guest, me and Kit, so far each of us has had a problem. Now it's Annie's turn.
Yeah.
It's my turn to get sick.
Yeah.
I'll get right on that. We'll all be surprised for whatever the next episode is. We'll see you there, folks.
You're going to be as surprised as we are.
In the meantime, I Will Fight You comes out every 5 weeks. You can find us wherever you download podcasts. It is edited by Lucas Brown of The Math of You. If you want to support us with dollars, do that at patreon.com/thegemmjam, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to early episodes of I Will Fight You, as well as other stuff from our other shows, Date Me Damn It and Gem Jammer. Also, talk to us on the internet, where you find us. I don't really go to Twitter anymore, but we got a Blue Sky.
And we're on Discord.
Or just, comment on our website, which is crookedrussiancam.horse or .gay. You can also find stuff about I Will Fight You and our other shows there as well. It does have a little comment section. Nobody really uses it, but, it's there.
It's there.
It's there. It's whatever. Say nice things to us. We like compliments. It makes us feel good. Is that all the things?
I think
that's all the things. I think I have a new book to plug because it's been a hot minute since we recorded.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it.
So I have also released a new case file of Jay Moriarty's story, which is my modern day interpretation of James Moriarty, the Sherlock Holmes villain, and his partner in crime, Sebastian Moran. This one features a con focused around a fantasy author who is definitely not based on any real people, but who is extremely transphobic. So check that out if that seems like your kind of thing.
And what website can people find information about that on?
InferiorWit.com, which is my regular website. You can also just find Jay Moriarty Ruins Everybody's Childhood on basically any ebook storefront, including Amazon, Kobo, Google, Apple, bunch of those.
Okay, dope. So check that out. Check us out next time. And until then, I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And we have fought you.